Hello YouTube and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who may be new, my name is Andrea J. Klein and I am a young adult fiction writer. So real quick before we jump into this video, I want to start off by apologizing for not having a video last week. Things have been pretty crazy around here the last few weeks and I just wasn't able to get a video up. I'm sorry. But as far as my writing goals go, I really didn't have anything to update you guys on. I did almost zero writing last month, i.e. super crazy the past couple weeks. And I really can't discuss what my goals are for August because that is a little bit of a surprise that you guys will just have to wait for until September. So if you want to know a little bit more about that, I guess you will just have to go down there and click that subscribe button so you will know when I make the big announcement at the beginning of September. Jumping into this week's actual video, today I really wanted to kind of give a little bit of a shout out to some of my favorite indie authors. These are people who have self-published or maybe they're just now traditionally publishing, but I really wanted to give them the recognition that I felt that they deserve. So let's jump right on in. The first author I really want to give a shout out to probably doesn't need too much of an introduction, and that is Jenna Marazzi. She is one of the biggest writers here on YouTube, and her first book, Eve the Awakening, debuted back in 2015. So not only do I love Jenna Marazzi's writing advice and her writing style, but I just overall generally love Jenna Marazzi as a human being. Her videos are always hilarious to watch. She has an amazingly snarky attitude that just makes me laugh no matter what kind of mood I'm in. And she's also surprisingly open with all of her followers here on YouTube. Her book, Eve the Awakening, is one of the few new adult sci-fi novels that I will read. In fact, I think it is the only new adult sci-fi novel I have ever read, and that is because I am not a huge fan of the genre, but there's just something about the way Jenna Marazzi writes her characters in her world that it leaves you intrigued and wanting to follow their story. The second author I want to give a shout out to is Erica Crouch. She was a former member of the YA Word Nerds here on YouTube, and she has written a number of books. However, my favorite series of hers has to be the Ignite series. It is kind of a basic angels and demons plotline, but like Jenna Marazzi, there's something about the way that Erica writes her characters that really pulls you into their story and makes you want to know what happens to her characters. I especially love the character of Penn, who is based on an actual angel from Christian mythology and is the angel who taught humans how to write. And that is just so fitting for the main character in this series. And I love her. She is so cute. I'm pretty proud to say that this is one of the few books that I have read all in one sitting. It was that good. So the third author I want to give a shout out to is another member of the YA Word Nerds here on YouTube, and that is Kelly Sheridan. So I actually read her novel or novella In Days fairly recently, which is like a prequel to her The Hitchhiker Strain duology, which by the way, In Days is still available for free on Amazon, and I would definitely recommend checking it out. It was amazing and I absolutely love it. And in fact, I loved it so much that after finishing In Days, I immediately went out and bought the box set of the Hitchhiker Strain duology. It was that good. I would also recommend checking out Kelly Sheridan's personal YouTube channel, which the link to that and all of these other authors will be down in the description box below. She gives really informative videos not only about the art of writing, but also about self-publishing, which is something that I'm hoping to do in the future, and I have found her videos to be very helpful. And so number 4 is yet another member of the YA Word Nerds. If you haven't realized it by now, I am a huge fan of their channel. And that is E. Latimer. So I actually got introduced to E. Latimer's writing through her Wattpad. I read both Frost and A Thousand Year Switch, and I absolutely loved both of them. And so when she revealed earlier this year that her first traditionally published book was coming out next year, I got so excited. And to make matters even better, it's kind of a retelling of A Picture of Dorian Gray, and if there is one thing I absolutely adore, it is retelling of classic stories. So those are the 4 authors whose work I have actually read. However, there are 2 more authors that I really want to give a shout out to. I haven't actually read any pieces written by them, but I love them as human beings, and I'm super excited for both of their novels. Both of them have novels coming out either later this year or early next year. And the first author I want to give kind of this special shout out to, again, is probably an author that doesn't really need an introduction, and that is Kim Chance. So Kim Chance also does Writing Advice videos here on YouTube, and she is just absolutely a wonderful human being. She's always happy and perky, and she's always encouraging people who are going down this path and helping them to find the confidence to really put themselves out there. Her novel Keeper is coming out sometime early next year. I can't remember the date off the top of my head at the moment. And I absolutely cannot wait to read this book. I have been following her for I think about a year now, and I am so excited to get to read this book. And the final author I want to talk about is Vivian Reese. She also does Writing Advice here on YouTube, if you haven't noticed that pattern already. And I actually had the pleasure of working with Vivian a couple of months ago when I helped her do a cover reveal for her novel, The Illusion Prophecy. She is a very sweet girl, and I am super excited to read her novel when it comes out. Again, I can't remember the date specifically off the top of my head. And there you have it, a shout out to some of my favorite authors. Who are some of your favorite indie authors, or just authors that you feel are underappreciated? Leave it down in the comments section below and we can get a discussion going. And as always, if you're interested in knowing what I am up to when I'm not here on YouTube, you can check me out on both Twitter and Instagram. I am trying to get into the habit of posting more regularly. We'll see how that actually goes. And if you want to check out some of my written work, you can head over to my Wattpad page and check out my novella, Saving Wonderland. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up if you liked this video, and subscribe so that you'll know when I post the next video. And until then, see you next time!